Hello, my fellow nerds, and welcome to the Nerd Empire. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today, and I hope you all will enjoy today's reaction video. With that being said, let's get right into it, shall we? Alright, this next one. This one is called Mirror Life Biggest Threat You've Never Heard of. I have no idea what this is about. So, let's check it out.
When some of the smartest men in the world realized that their work on the atomic bomb was to be immediately demonstrated on hundreds of thousands of Japanese citizens, dozens of Manhattan Project scientists stepped back from the brink they helped create and signed a petition to the then American president. However, the petition was never circulated at Oppenheimer's Los Alamos labs, and President Truman never saw it. Quote, "The things we are working on are so terrible that no amount of protesting or fiddling with politics will save our souls."
Now, those two bombs are what, effectively ended the fight we had against the Japanese. I'm not sure how long that fight against the Japanese would have actually gone on for if we did not drop those two bombs on Japan. It probably would have gone on for many more years, but if ultimately, I think America still probably would have won. I thought the Manhattan Project was to make an invisible boat. I don't know. Let me see real quick. What was the Manhattan Project? The Manhattan Project was a top-secret U.S.-led effort during World War II to develop the first atomic bombs. Okay, so that's what it was. What? What are you mowing for? What? 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 What you mowing for? What you got to mow about? Huh? What you got to mow about? What are you mowing at me for? Huh? What are you mowing at me for? Don't be kitty.
There's been a tension between the use of nuclear knowledge ever since. We willingly created a new existential risk because we thought we could control it. We're now standing on a new precipice. With the advent of synthetic biology, the technical ability to design and/or redesign biological systems, some scientists are once again warning that we might manifest a new existential threat, something that should never be created.
I've always said to people that if it's not for anything outside of the planet that is going to ultimately make humanity go extinct, the only other viable possibility for an apocalypse for humanity will be scientists. I guarantee you, if it's not any sort of asteroid or anything alien, it's going to be scientists. Scientists, I swear to God, are going to be the end of humanity if they don't stop fucking with shit.
They are talking about the literal opposite of earthly organisms: mirror life. The most popular picture of life's origin looks something like this. Earth, billions of years ago, was very different. There was no oxygen in the atmosphere, magma oceans, frequent extraterrestrial bombardment. It was in this hellscape where the first building blocks of life, like amino acids, had enough time to come together. We don't know what the first spark was. Lightning strike, deep-sea vents, or just luck. But eventually those building blocks started to self-replicate inside the primordial soup. Then they enclosed themselves in layers of other molecules. Then came metabolism. It was here where evolution decided that ribo and deoxyribonucleic acids were going to be the blueprints of life. Fast forward 3.5 billion years and you're watching this video. This is of course a grand simplification of uncountable atomic interactions over an unthinkable amount of time. DNA didn't just appear. There were likely innumerable iterations of acids and bases that didn't work. Not just different molecules, but even different shapes of the same molecules. Imagine a simple sphere. If you take its mirror image, it's exactly the same. The two can be superposed. Now, take your left hand. The mirror image of your left hand is your right hand. They cannot be placed over each other like the spheres can. This is called chirality, a property of asymmetry important to any field of science that deals with atoms, molecules, and other particles. It's important in the understanding of life itself because its blueprints and construction materials, DNA and proteins, are chiral. DNA is made from right-handed nucleotides, and proteins are made from left-handed amino acids. What mirror life would be then is life from molecules of the opposite chirality in every instance. It's forecast that within the next decade, the field of synthetic biology will be at a point where it can create the nanomachinery needed to make whatever kinds of molecules scientists want, including DNA of either chirality. And right now, there are prominent scientists that think building opposite chirality DNA, proteins, even single-celled synthetic organisms like bacteria will yield important scientific insights.
This is hurting my brain. I don't understand it. I'm too stupid. I'm too stupid to understand this stuff. Oh, I'm so dumb.
But because life evolved over billions of years to interact with the world in one direction, mirror life may pose an existential threat on the level of nuclear weapons. Less than a year ago, over 40 renowned biologists warned that mirror life might even be worse. Every single surface that you can see likely has some amount of microorganisms on it. Those invisible realms are where most of the action on Earth takes place. You can't see it, but microorganism biomass outweighs all of the animals on Earth combined. The power here is in population growth. Single-celled organisms are only single cells, and so they can create more of themselves much more quickly than an organism like you with trillions of cells. This is a simple equation for the growth of a population of bacteria. This exponent means it's exponential growth, and these variables represent the growth rate and the time. In theory, if a single bacteria with unlimited food and movement and lifespan split itself every 20 minutes, in a little over 3 days, there would be more bacteria than particles in the observable universe.
Holy shit.
The power of exponential growth is curtailed by the bottlenecks of nutrients and space and disease and predation in the real world for real bacteria. On the mirrored hand, however, a synthetic bacteria might not have those constraints. Almost 200 years ago, Louis Pasteur demonstrated that two molecules of the same composition could be nonetheless structurally distinct. He had found the handedness, or chirality, of molecules. Since then, there have always been reasons to eventually study mirror molecules, especially in the medical field. Delivering drugs to fight disease isn't easy. Your body is a bubbling cauldron of enzymes built to break things down, and your immune system is often an overeager expeller of interlopers. But both enzymes and white blood cells do their duties by recognizing and interlocking with molecules. If those drug molecules had unrecognizable surfaces and unpickable atomic locks, if they were the mirror-life version of those molecules, then the body wouldn't interact with them much, if at all, making drug delivery inside the body a lot more efficient. And mirror-life bacteria could crank out these therapeutics much faster than we currently do, like genetically engineered E. coli does with human insulin. Another reason to look at mirror life is that it would be basically alien. Organisms with chemistry that took the other path at one of evolution's very first crossroads. That's something that astrophysicist Dimitar Sasolov is excited about. It's very likely that even if astronomers find conclusive yet indirect evidence of life in some other planet's atmosphere, no Earthling will ever see those organisms with their own eyes. Mirror life would be one way to see a fundamentally alien genetic blueprint, yielding potentially crucial insights into not only what life is, but what it could be. If you're familiar with the fields of synthetic biology and genetic engineering, this might all sound too similar to the controversial gain-of-function research, where scientists intentionally enhance the biological capabilities of organisms like bacteria and viruses. The danger here is obvious. Giving a virus more virality and lethality just to study that change is clearly problematic at best.
I feel like I wasted so many years in school because I feel so dumb listening to this. I feel so stupid. I barely understand like a quarter of it. I feel like it needs to speak to me like I'm a 5-year-old child just so I can understand what the fuck it's talking about.
And we now know that real worries about this kind of research were not totally unfounded. The danger posed by mirror life is less straightforward, but more consequential. Because nothing on the planet is evolved to interact with it, it could, merely by existing, end all life on Earth.
Yikes.
In December 2024, an international working group of scientific experts across many fields released this report, a 299-page technical document detailing the many ways that mirror life is an unacceptable existential risk, and therefore should never be created. The central argument is easy enough to follow. All life on Earth is based on DNA. Mirror life would have mirrored DNA. You could synthesize this life in a few different ways. You might create it from scratch. You might slowly turn a natural bacterium into its molecular mirror image. Either way, it's theoretically possible, and possible soon. But if we take this path, true containment is likely impossible. Human error, equipment failure, subterfuge, a bad actor, something will eventually happen. That's true for any science, but with mirror life, the stakes are higher. In the wild, because it is essentially unrecognizable, mirror life likely wouldn't be kept in check by anything that normally consumes microorganisms. It could more or less eliminate its own death rate by evading predation in a number of ways. Then it encounters plants, which also can't interact with it. Then it encounters us, where it would be resistant to chemical defenses, evade the immune system, and colonize body tissues and spaces like the bloodstream with unchallenged expansion.
Yeah.
The report author...
No defense against something, just like a mirrored image of any sort of disease that we have, like any sort of like like any sort of cure for, or any medicine for, like a mirror image of it, just for it to invade us. God, that would fucking suck. Like polio, we have something for that, like a mirror image of that. I think would just, or any sort of plague, or any sort of normal sickness. A mirror image of it where we have no way to fight against it. It's just, it'd be like complete devastation for all humanity.
Go into great detail why, as you might expect, colonization of the human body by fundamentally alien organisms could have fatal consequences. And it's the rapid colonization that's the problem. Extant organic bacteria evolved on Earth and reached a kind of equilibrium. In other words, their growth rate matches their mortality rate. But mirror bacteria, which would be expected to evade predation, wouldn't be in equilibrium. As long as they had nutrients and space to grow, a microscopic invasion is possible. And if that invasion is possible, the base level of the food chain in all ecosystems would be hollowed out. Constantly evolving innumerable bacteria that nothing can eat, producing waste that nothing can digest, gobbling up all of the available nutrients everything else depends on. Irreversible ecological harm. Climate scientist Jim Casting says, quote, "All it would take would be a droplet of mirror cyanobacteria squirted into the ocean. Within a few generations, global famine, an ice age, a complete evolutionary reboot. After this," Casting says, "whatever life existed on Earth by that point wouldn't include us."
Yikes.
It would be similar to a gray goo apocalypse, but the machines would be meat instead of metal.
Hang on, gray goo scenario. The first assembler is created to convert organic matter into other materials. The assembler is programmed to create new units identical to itself. Each new unit follows the same programming instructed to consume and multiply. The manufacturing rate becomes exponential, producing greater and greater numbers of assemblers. Eventually, the assemblers would strip the Earth of all organic matter, leaving only nanomachines behind. Wow.
Metal. Aside from the more efficient drugs and the thrill of studying alien biology, it doesn't seem like there are many good arguments for taking the risk of creating mirror life. The scientists in 2024 were more blunt. Without compelling evidence that it would not be an existential threat, mirror life should not be created. Research should stop. Funding should be cut. It's not like splitting the atom, where there were existentially relevant upsides along with the existential downsides. Mirror life, no matter which side of it you see, looks like an out-and-out threat. These whistleblowers want you to join the discussion. I've linked the technical report in the comments in the description. If you're interested, you should at least scan it. Then leave a comment below about what you think of this research. Is knowledge for knowledge's sake always justified?
No.
Are some things better left?
Knowledge for knowledge's sake is not always something that should be it shouldn't be something that people should go for. It's like knowing for the sake of knowing. No. There's some things, like if there's nothing but negative to what you want to know, there is no reason to know it. Like, what's the point if there's no way to fight against it, if there's no way to create anything to protect yourself against it or protect anything from it? It's like nothing but bad. Then it should just be left alone, locked up, and never looked at again. Knowledge for knowledge's sake is not always a good thing.
Unknown. Is our science now advanced enough for info hazards to be more real and more common? After his work on the Manhattan Project, legendary physicist Richard Feynman returned to civilization. It felt different after Trinity turned some of New Mexico into glass. Quote, I sat in a restaurant in New York and I looked out at the buildings and I began to think about how much the radius of the Hiroshima bomb damage was. All those buildings, all smashed. Like many scientists after their work on the atomic bomb, Feynman had been changed by what he now knew was possible and how possible it was for that knowledge to end the world. I would see people building a bridge or they'd be making a new road and I thought, they're crazy. They just don't understand. Why are they making new things? It's so useless. Until next time.
Yeah. Well, that was interesting. Made me feel really dumb. Yeah, that entire thing made me feel really stupid. But yeah, there are just some things that are just not meant to be touched, some things that are not meant to be researched, some things that are not meant to be created. Yet we have people who, despite seeing all the red flags, all the warning signs, this and that, saying that, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. This is bad. They'll still go ahead and do it because apparently I don't understand. They're just that fucking stupid. It's like they have blinders to bad. Anything bad, they're just blind to it and say, hey, a new thing to look at. And that's how that's how scientists are gonna end the world. Because they want to know. You're not stupid. I know you're trying to soften the blow. I know I'm not that smart. I know that there are things that I'm pretty fucking dumb at. And this is one of them. This is something I'm fucking stupid with. When it comes to science, I'm not that smart. Well, that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give a like and subscribe. I post videos 3 to 5 days a week here. I also post videos over on my other channel for gaming as well, so please make sure to give that a look-see, see if you enjoy that as well. I also stream anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week as well. Links to all my social medias will be on my YouTube page. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.